Welcome to Special Needs Prepping, Conflict Resolution Edition for married couples who are into prepping. And I am a supporter of gay rights. So when I say married couples and men and women, don't be offended, gay couples. And I've heard that there's usually a dominant and passive gay spouse. So the passive spouse can play the role of the female in these examples. So when you have a special needs child, then that's a heavy load. 75% of special needs parents get divorced. So when you have a special needs child, um, you have to understand that that child's going to be with you for the rest of your life, and you're going to be worried about it. And if you have other children, that's good if you that they can in later on can help manage things for their younger sibling. They're not going to have to live their lives for them, but they will help. It's a comforting to have other children. So if you have one special needs child, don't be afraid to have more children. So let's see. So in conflict resolution, the number one thing is to look at is that you got married and you're committed to one another, and get that feeling back. If you have contempt for each other, if one of you has contempt, that's a bad deal. So sit down with the therapist, do your therapist homework, go to betterhelp.com, get a Zoom therapist, and take a risk and do the homework. And stay married until the children are 18 and out, especially if you have a special needs child, where you all can work on that together. Because I've seen one parent not be on board and the child ends up having to be put into an institution, and that's very sad. So, so set a goal with conflict resolution to be happy and to resolve the issue. Let go of the idea of winning the argument, of getting in the last word, of having a drop the mic moment. This is not a war on the battlefield. This is not a political game. So your goal is to be happy, to get back to that happy time when you first met and were dating and got married. So the two things you have to let go of is retaliating and retreating. Using the word hypocrite, saying, how can you say this when you've done this and you've done that? Let go of that. And also retreating by saying, I'm not going to talk about this, I want to stop. And people say that when they feel like they're losing, because they're still trying to win. Let go of the idea of winning. So this this protocol was brought together by people in the Mankind Project, Women Within and New Warriors. So what you do is you choose a flexible inanimate object, like one of my son's toys here. Um, you don't want to use the marble rolling pin you got as a wedding present. And so what you're doing is that you go through this procedure, and you start off with, you're sitting at the kitchen table, your phones are turned over, there's no interruptions, the kids have gone to bed, the kids are at grandma's, and so you set aside a time to work on this. And so one person has the talking stick, and only they can speak. And they follow this procedure of, you start with the emotion, mad, sad, glad, fear, or the shame of embarrassment, or the shame you're a bad person. So you set the emotion, then you do the data, then you do your judgment, and then do what you want. So a prepper man can say, the emotion is fear, the data is, I want to network with people in the neighborhood about prepping. My judgment is that you're uncomfortable with that, and I want to find a way to come to some type of compromise on this issue. So then you ask her to repeat it back. Now you still have the talking stick. The only thing she can do is repeat back exactly what you said. And if she doesn't repeat it back, if she rushes through it or rolls her eyes, you just say, go again. And she doesn't get the talking stick until you're satisfied that you are being heard. So then she gets the talking stick, and she'll say, the emotion is fear. The data is, I'm not 100% on board with this prepping stuff. I don't want to try to have to defend you with this stuff. I don't want, if something bad happens, all these people are going to come to my house, and I'm scared that you're going to be killed, and these bad guys are going to come after the children. So then you don't have the talking stick. She has it. You have to repeat back exactly what is said. So when you do that, then the idea is both people are being heard, because you're not retaliating, you're not retreating, you're not trying to win. So ladies have this fear. It's a big fear. It's one of the reasons men say, how can I get my wife into prepping? Well, they're scared because they know they're not as strong as men. They know you said, trust me, honey, it'll be all right. I know what I'm doing. Well, sometimes that doesn't work out, and they remember those times. So men, your wife may not completely ever understand until you get to heaven. When in heaven, she's going to put her arms around you and say, honey, now I understand. You were trying to protect me and the children. I couldn't understand. I did not understand while we were alive. So hopefully this never happens. She doesn't understand what you're doing, but she'll understand when she gets to heaven. So let go of this idea that you're going to have a Nurse Amy or Dr. Bones marriage or Rachel the Patriot Nurse and Reed. It's not necessarily going to happen. So and men in your late 40s and early 50s, you have to step into leadership, step into your elder energy. When the event goes down, tell the young men and women, let's do this, this, and this, because they're scared. Say, just do this, this, and this, and you'll step into the role of leadership, and they'll do it, and they'll find comfort in your leadership. So I want to end with the two types of people that are in the world today, the lover and the magician. So how you can tell the difference is if you get a text message from someone who says, who you've got a new cell number, and you get a text message, obviously from somebody who doesn't know that the number's been changed, and they start talking about all sorts of stuff, and you think to yourself, I could really manipulate or mess or have fun with this person. If that thought occurs to you or you've done that, then you're a magician. Because you're a speechwriter, organizer. You think about, okay, how can I take something, how can I use this to my advantage? And so this is power that you've learned as a early child, as a young child, and this power goes to people's heads and they use it for bad, like politicians and used car salesmen. Now, if you're the other type of person, you're a lover, and your emotions of mad, sad, glad, fear, and the shame of embarrassment, and the shame you're a bad person, you're like in a pinball machine and you bounce around these 5 emotions. So what I'm asking you to do is corral all these emotions. Imagine yourself sitting on a back porch of your farm. You've got a corral with a fish tank, and you name each one of these animals, even some in the fish tank. You give each one of these an animal name, and you identify them, and you are in charge. So please, if you're a magician, use your powers for good. If you're a lover, stand in your queen and your king, and rest in your queen and your king, and do the right thing. Thank you.